On September 26, 2016, the United States had the first of 3 debates between Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump. While most analysts have called it a win for Hillary, it would be a mistake for Democrats to start waving the victory flag. Both sides' weak points were exposed if you knew what to look for, and you can bet your bottom dollar both campaigns are analyzing the footage to learn how to exploit gaps in their opponent's armor. What were those weak points? How can they be exploited? Which candidate should be scared of what will happen in round 2? Stay tuned to find out. The goal of a political debate is to make a candidate's ideas and image look as good as possible to the viewers. For that to happen, both need to have a solid foundation. A candidate needs ideas that will help the public and a reputation and image that seems likable and trustworthy. Equally important is the presentation. A bad presentation can make a candidate's ideas seem awful. It can also rob them of the public's trust. To really understand the debate, you have to understand a few things as a foundation. First, Trump's ideas are awful. By that I mean he has almost no concrete plans at all. The few he has are mainly based on emotion, not facts and reality. They're hard or impossible to accomplish. His platform is weak. Second, Clinton's ideas are great, and by that I mean she has a detailed platform with well-described plans. They're based in reality and stand on her years of experience, and they can be realistically accomplished. Third, Trump's stage presence tends to reach the public better than Clinton's. He uses small words and the power of repetition. He's good at bringing an opponent's personal failings into the spotlight. Fourth, Clinton's stage presence is less skilled. She has great ideas, but expresses them in fancy language. She comes off as elitist. She doesn't have Trump's skill at attacking an opponent while keeping her own defenses up. In other words, Clinton has a stronger platform while Trump has a better presentation style. With that in mind, let's consider the debate. I've included a link to the debate video in the comments so you can watch for yourself if you didn't have a chance to catch it live or want to review it. In the early stages of the debate, Clinton was on the defense. That's because Trump did 2 very smart things and did them very well. First, he attacked Clinton on her personal failings. The Thinkosaurus has said for months that if Clinton won the primary, she would be vulnerable to Trump's style of attacks, and last night proved me right. The most devastating example was during the segment on race relations, when Trump reminded the audience that in the 1990s, Clinton called young men of color super predators. It was a serious blow, because it was factually correct and made Clinton look like a bigot. Second, Trump focused his statements on things that affect the audience emotionally. A good example was his speech about jobs leaving the country. He hammered at that fear we all have about being downsized, laid off, or just having our employer leave the country entirely. It's a technique taught to salespeople, unpleasantly called picking the scab so you can sell them a bandage. He poked at that sore spot to show us our fear and pain, and then presented himself as the guy to take the pain away. Meanwhile, Clinton looked uncomfortable and spoke in stammering, stuttering discomfort. She made the critical mistake of speaking like she was presenting a doctoral dissertation. Her language was overly formal and used a high-level vocabulary. The rule of thumb in public speaking is to phrase everything at the 5th grade level. It makes you easier to understand and makes you seem more friendly. Clinton ignored that rule, and it made her sound snooty. The later parts of the debate went to Clinton. She also did a few things very well. First, she was obviously well prepared with a solid platform of ideas, and well prepared to describe them. That gave her the advantage of being able to respond to the moderator's questions directly and without evasion. Trump failed there, rarely being able to actually answer a moderator's question instead of dodging it. Second, she showed her greater understanding of intelligent verbal warfare than Trump. Trump may be very good at lowbrow attacks, but he's not refined enough to recognize when he's about to step on a debate landmine. Hillary was able to maneuver him into a position where she could attack him for stiffing employees out of their rightfully earned pay. She did it again by luring him into a spot where she could point out that he'd been sued for refusing to rent to black Americans. Unfortunately for her, She's not as good at phrasing her attacks, but she proved she can put him off balance. So what does this mean for the next debate and the future of the campaign? Well, as I said, both campaigns' analysts are combing the video to learn everything they can in preparation for the next debate. Trump's people will learn that she's weak at defending herself against personal attacks on her history and reputation. You can count on the next debate being much more vicious from the Trump podium. His staff will also try to prep him with better defenses against the failings in his own past. Only time will tell whether Trump's notorious ego will let him learn from his errors. He'll also need to have more concrete ideas to offer. Clinton remains vulnerable on her history. The super predators comment will come back to haunt her. Trump also missed the opportunity to respond to her attacks about his tax returns by reminding the public that she is still hiding the content of her speeches to Wall Street firms. You can count on him having that weapon ready in the next debate. Clinton needs to get ahead of that by either releasing the transcripts, finding a solid defense against that attack, or both. She also needs to dumb down her presentation language. The appearance of elitism will alienate blue-collar Americans, a group she sorely needs on her side. For her, the challenge will be overcoming her intellectual pride and talking with the public without talking down to the public. Round 1 of the 2016 presidential debate prize fight definitely went to Clinton, but rounds 2 and 3 are still up for grabs. They're likely to be won by whichever candidate is most willing to learn from the mistakes of the first one. Let's see what happens on October 4th and 9th when the bell rings and the candidates come out swinging.